Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a great day. You're live. So, yes. Hey, I hope you all give thanks this morning that you were alive. I'm glad to be here with you this morning. I'm grateful for my day. I'm very happy today. I succeeded in completing the Ultimate Success Masterclass, which is a self-mastery program. So I'm really, really happy. My day is, there, I see that my light is, there we go. Okay. So I told you guys this morning we were going to talk about addiction. And it's not going to be what you think it is, what I'm coming to you from. Like, I'll use my examples of what my life has been, but hey, I think I'm going to make you aware today that of how much addictions you actually have in your life. So, good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy you guys are all alive. And it's a great day, and we're all going to have a great day. So I want to talk about everyday addictions that people don't think about. You know, because there's a stigma attached to that word addiction. Now, I want you to understand that addiction is not just being addicted to drugs or alcohol. All right? Addiction is the inability to stop something, whether it's a behavior or a state or whatever, whether it causes you psychological or physical harm. So, there's 3 types of addiction. Hold on a second. Zulabi, I hear you scratching. You've got to stop that, okay? All right? You're all right? Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so you got behavioral addictions. And you got substance addictions. But you also have impulse addictions. Now, impulse addictions feed your body with something. Every addiction feeds your body with something. And you do things because you want to feel the effects, the desired outcomes, the results of what you're doing. So I want you to clear your mind this morning when we're talking about this. And I want you to be open. Because I'm really going to make you realize this morning that you have more addiction in your life shackling you to things you don't want than you realize. All right, and together we can make changes. Enlightenment brings change. And that's what the most change came from in my life, is learning and being aware. I've been asked quite a few times, like I mentioned yesterday, where do you start? Where do you start? And I keep saying unshackling yourself, but I've reflected on that. All you have to do in the beginning, the only thing that you must do in your life to make any change is just be willing to do it. That's it. 1% of willingness is going to produce great things for you. But if you're not willing to make changes, well, that's where it stems from. It's your willingness. It's whether you're willing to be open to listen to what others have learned. You know? It depends what you choose for you. Okay, let's get back onto addictions this morning, because there's a lot of things. Listen, I had a conversation yesterday, so I'm going to take it to a different thing here for understanding. Yesterday I had that light shine in there. You guys probably see a light shining over my head. Okay. Yeah. How do we get that? Fix that. Okay, you know what? I think I'll just shut that thing off. Or okay, hold on a second. All right. Okay, let's get that off. All right. Now, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday over Duo. And that's not just a somebody. It's a longtime friend of mine of 22 years. And her and I are not in the same city. Anyway, talking about that, while I have you all out there, for anybody in Ottawa who's into healthy eating, sorry, I'm going to put the shout out there. I want you to check out AR's Bakery and Health Foods. She's in Ottawa. She caters. She does all kinds of stuff, but it's all health food. And she's got a thriving thing going on there. She's an amazing person, and the energy that she brings in that food, it's different. It brings a totally different level to the food she brings to you. Okay, this is magical hands at work, empowering people through healthy food. Okay, I want you to check that out. Her name is Anoop Rehal. For anybody in Ottawa, check that out. All right. Anyway, I had a conversation yesterday, and it seems like all of my conversations are very meaningful and things like this. Now, it touches base with my topic this morning, because we were discussing the fact that she has become now, in a way or form, addicted to feeling good. So going to the gym and doing things that are positive and reinforcing to her a good life. Now, my point of this is this. What she mentioned to me is this. She said, Tobi, I didn't understand. I went into the gym. I have to override the thoughts before all of those thoughts that come up about I don't feel like doing it and I don't, whatever. But she says, once I override those thoughts, and I went to the gym, and I worked out, and I felt great. Now, the minute I left the gym, feeling great, my mind kicked in to a real bad mindset. And she said, I couldn't understand it. So I broke it down to her, and I said, listen, what's happening is your body, you're making changes, but your body is not used to those changes. So you're operating on a state where your body is familiar with what you've been feeding it for so long. Okay? So, your brain, because of your thoughts and whatever's being released within your activity and within your interactions, right? So, she was feeding herself positive hormones. But if her mind has been feeding her negative hormones for so long, and then all of a sudden she does something to change the hormonal balance in her body, but your body is saying, hey, that's not normal to me. This doesn't feel right. So yeah, what's going to happen is you're going to have a subconscious pattern and your programming kick in to do what's best for your body. Now, because of its processing and the way it thinks, and it's going to do what's best for you to keep you safe no matter what. So, even if you're trying to do something good for yourself, but if your body is used to you feeding it negativity and negative hormones, your programming is going to think, uh-oh, this is foreign, and this is not right, and this is abnormal. So, what you have to understand is, in order to really fully override these things, these changes that you're going to make in your life, what I'm trying to come down to, is you have to do them over and over and over and over and over and over again. It gets easier once you condition yourself to override it. Give your brain those suggestions that it is okay to accept new hormonal releases in your body, and that it is not a threat to your system. Talk to yourself. because that's how I had to do it. Get it right. Because listen, I'm going to give you a perfect example. Our thoughts are very, very powerful. Now this morning, after I've completed my Ultimate Success Masterclass and graduated this morning, do you know what happened to me right before I went to sit at the computer to complete my graduation? My programming of my brain sat there and told me, why bother? What is this really doing for you? Why even bother? What are you doing? Why? Because it's losing its power over me. And that's why. It's going to try to talk me down from anything good in my life. Why? Because of what it's constructed on. Okay? The best things in my life are happening to me. Now, if I give power to the programming that has been installed in me, understand that I would not be where I am today. So what happened to me this morning? Well, I really had to tell myself in a loving way, Tobi, that is your false self talking. That is not who you are. And that is not who I choose to be. So I kindly asked that programming to shut down with the thought processes. Seriously. I had to tell my subconscious, listen, you have the right to govern my automatic systems within my body, because that's what you are for. And you are there solely to restabilize my being, should the need arise. But you will not control my thoughts. You will not control my day. You will not control my learning. You work for me. I don't work for you. And it was at that moment that I was able to sit down and finish my last things that I needed to do for my graduation. And I finished it. But I want you guys to understand that our brain does things to us to keep it operating the way we have been. And that is because simply that's just the way it's been programmed to do, and it's used to doing that. So I want you, it touches on addiction. Our brains become addicted to these operating states, that are no good. And why I say this is because it's running on these programs because of the results and the outcomes that it gets. And what it's used to releasing into your bodies. It happens to every single person, even after enlightenment. But you have to decide whether you're going to give that power or not. And that, it's real. It's real, because my brain was trying to put off my graduation this morning. Because my patterns that are in my brain that have been stored there, I hate to tell you, no. There's 45 years of destructive brain patterns going on in there. So yeah, I'm enlightened. Yeah, I'm in a different place, but I still have to override my brain every day. So understand that. Because, you may sit there and think that I've got all this stuff figured out. But because I'm human and because I'm living with the subconscious brain that has been programmed the way it has been, that's what happens. Okay? So, but I have to do the things that I have to do. And this happened to me even after I woke up and I was grateful for my day. And I gave thanks for my day. Now imagine what would have happened to me this morning if I woke up from that state. The day's going to be fucked up. Okay? I don't think I ever would have graduated. So, I want you guys to understand how powerful this stuff is. Okay? And nobody is excluded. It happens to every single person. Now, why did my brain do this to me this morning? Because deep down inside, my brain has been programmed to believe that I'm not worth it. And that I am not worthy of it. And these things are for people that are deserving. And that these things are for people who, hey, have a house, have money, have, these are not options for people like me, from where I come from in my belief systems. No, they're not. But am I going to be that person? No. And that's a conscious choice. See, this is where you have to get real with yourself. It doesn't make me any less of a person or any less valid or any less worth it or anything like that. That's what you got to understand. You got to understand that, hey, your belief systems and your programming runs more of your life than you realize. And how we talk ourselves out of things every day. This is what ties into the addictions. Now, why did I ever get addicted in drugs? Well, okay, look. Anyway, I want to talk about everyday addictions that you're not thinking about. And I think that this morning I've enlightened you in a way that's a little bit different, but hey. Okay, so why do we get addicted to things? Because we like how things feel. We like the results that we get from it, right? Because we don't have the ability to stop. So I want you to think about some things today. What are your addictions in your life? And you may think, I don't have any addictions. But I can guarantee you do. Now, what are your things? How could I put it? All right, okay. Let me ask you some things. This is how, okay. What do you like to do? And if you haven't figured that out for yourself, that's fine too. But if you're in a state of negativity where you're not moving and you're not active and you're not doing anything in your life, well, I hate to break it to you, that's your addiction. Okay? Because it's an inability to stop a behavior that is harming you on a psychological and physical level. So now, if you're in a state of negativity and you can't motivate yourself and you can't change that and you can't self-assess, well, I hate to break it to you, you're addicted to that state of being. Now, a lot of people leave it on a positive note. It's not just the negative, it's the positive too. So, all of you that are addicted to working out, and all of you that are addicted to gambling, and all of you that are addicted to thrill seeking, that also too has its wear and tears. That is being addicted to that state of being. And you want those desired results. You want the high of whatever it is you're doing. So that means you're addicted to that also. So what you may think about, oh, addictions, I don't have any addictions because you don't smoke or you don't drink or, whatever. No, don't get it twisted. Everybody is addicted to something in their life. Now, no matter what it is, whether you're addicted to a low state or a high vibration, either or, there's going to be wear and tear on your body. But I want you to get real with it. Okay? I really want you to look at it and see what is feeding me. Okay? And what is it that I'm addicted to? Are you addicted to sitting on your couch doing nothing? Are you addicted to cleaning? Are you addicted to walking? These are all things that you do. Yes, these are all behaviors you do, but remember, addictions don't always have to be substance. There's behavioral addictions, and this is what I'm trying to come down to. There's impulse addictions. So are you addicted to being a certain way? Are you addicted to a certain food because of how it makes you feel? So this is what I want you to look at in your life today. So no, I'm not here sitting here going, ha ha, ha, oh, yeah, addictions are bad. Da, 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 da. No, not at all. I want you to understand that addictions are a part of your life. And how these addictions control you, or what you feed into them and get from these addictions, has more governance on your life than you think. Tobi. Okay? So these are the things I want you to check in your life today. What are you addicted to? And you can't say you have no addictions. Now, I want you to take it a little step deeper. Once you analyze what it is that you're addicted to, I want you to see what has gotten you to that state. I want you to analyze that. So I want you to look at all of the excuses or all of the reasons behind it. And that's huge self-analyzation. All right? And I don't want you to look outwardly here. I want you to look inwardly. And I want you to look at these things and sit with them. I don't want you to fly by ideas, and start listing things off in your head. No, that's not the point of this exercise. What the point of this is, I want you to look at your behaviors. And I want you to look at your impulses. And I want you to analyze whether they have control of you or whether you are in control of them. And that's huge. That's going to tell you a lot. Because we all have addictions. Every single one of us. My biggest addiction right now is learning. I understand that. That's what fuels me. That's what pushes me every day to seek more learning. So, I want you to really, really analyze what it is that you're feeding off of. Because you're feeding into it to feed off of it. Because it's a give and take. Like you do things for the desired outcomes, but it's the feelings that you want out of it. That's what happens. Okay, let me give you a little example. For a very long time, I was addicted to negative hormones. Any kind. And that's why I got hooked on drugs. It wasn't the drug that I was addicted to. Now, with the level of awareness that I'm at, I understand that it was my addiction to the escape of my own reality. Now, that's huge. Okay? And I was just using behaviors and substances and impulses in my life to remove my reality from as far away from my conscious brain as I could. And that's not good. So this is all about self-analyzation. And this is my point of it all. Because I'm not sitting here going, oh, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. No, I am saying experience all that you can in your life, but don't do it from a state of addiction. Or get addicted to the results that it gives you. Because there's so much more to it. So, that's my point of this morning. You see, this is my point of the lives. I don't want to sit here and tell you guys what to do. But I will give you little insights of how you can analyze yourself. And how you can start seeing the things that you need to remove from your life. Whether it's behaviors, whether it's impulses, whether it's substance abuse even. Look, I did it. I got over it. I'm clean. But I didn't go to rehab. I did not do any outward expertise of any kind to get me where I am. I trusted the expertise of the universe that knows the grand scheme of things. And why did I have to go through all of these bad addictions in my life? Because so I could teach others about them. Okay, everybody thinks that, okay, I want to talk about substance abuse for a minute because I've been talking about behavioral addictions and things like that. I want to talk about substance addictions. Now, whether it's if you're addicted to coming home and having even one beer a day. Why are you addicted to poisoning yourself? Simple. Break it down to its simplest form. Why are people addicted to poisoning their lungs? It all comes down to what you believe about yourself. Okay? Now, in my state of living the way that I have all my life, and what I've had to endure in my life, I completely understand why substances were and became one of my biggest addictions in life. Because I wasn't getting any highs out of life. Okay? So, in my life, I wasn't doing anything good, and I was in a state of survival, and your body does anything that it can to thrive, right? So once you get a taste of the drug life, hey, and that's your only high of life, when you're feeling all the lows of life, well, you're going to quickly find an escape route to that low. And of course, it's going to keep you shackled to it as long as you stay in that state of that low. But it's a vicious cycle because the drugs don't get you out of it. And the alcohol doesn't get you out of it. And the smoking weed doesn't get you out of it. It depresses your state of being. And I had to get to this point in my life to understand all of that. So I used drugs to escape the harshness of my life. So understand that it wasn't the drugs that were a problem. Ever. Okay? It was the harshness of my life. That was the initial problem. And the lack of resources and the lack of my fundamental basic needs that pushed me into poisoning myself to get a high out of life. I get that. And that's okay, because I've learned from it. And I can sit here and talk about it, and it doesn't harm me. There's nothing from my past that harms me anymore. But I was addicted to that state of negativity for 45 years, because that's what my programming was based on. Now, there's a lot of things that they say, I come like, it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish. Let you guys understand something. It doesn't matter how hard your life is, and it doesn't matter what you're living. You can change everything. And it doesn't, outside has nothing to do with this. And why I stress this is because, look, like I said, I have been in the same place for 9 years. Now, within these same walls that I can just now graduate the Ultimate Success Masterclass. Well, let me tell you, it was in these same walls that I poisoned myself for years, to the extremest of levels. So, it is not my environment that caused it. It is not my interactions with people that caused it. No. My addictions in my life stemmed from the harshness of my life and where I was coming from. And me wanting to escape my reality instead of understanding that I could change it internally. Now, these changes come from within yourself. They don't come from outside of yourself. They don't. I didn't change my environment. So my situation and circumstance is still the same. But my internal representation of it all has changed. And no, I'm no longer on drugs. No, I don't need to run to the liquor commission every single day and buy a 40-ouncer and drink it. That's what I used to do. I was a functional addict on any substance. I could do anything on anything. And that's not something to be proud of. But that's the intensity of my life. Okay? So I want you all to understand something. There is nothing greater than the power of your being. Okay? Because everybody says, oh, addictions are more powerful and drugs are more powerful. This morning I want you to understand it's all a crock of shit. All this hype about, oh, addictions and you got to do this and you got to do that. No, listen. What you got to do is you got to get real with who you are. And understand that there's nothing externally that you can give your power to unless you allow it. It doesn't work like that. So I want you to take a look at the addictions in your life. Whether they're good, whether they're bad, that's an opinion. Because I'm going to get real with that too. It's all supposed to teach you about who you are on this planet. And you have a unique signature. So, what makes you unique. Well, it is the uniqueness of your being, your experience, and what you bring to this planet. So what you think, feel, say, and do is unique to you. Nobody else. Okay? You can't be like anybody else because that's impossible. You can mimic them, you can mock them, but you're unique. And your behaviors are unique. Yeah, we all have commonalities between the behaviors, but everything is unique to you. We have commonalities, things in common. But aside from that, no. Nobody shares my experience with me other than me. My interactions with people are very much different than my internal relationship with myself. So, nothing has shackled me to that hell. Understand that. I want you all to understand something. I went through years of consuming drugs and alcohol to the point where anybody else would be brain dead today. And that's facts. You can ask my mother about it. I was addicted to self-sabotage more than anything. So get real with that within yourself. You know, we don't have it all figured out. And I can't tell you the exact things that you need to do for yourself. I can tell you what I've done for myself that has helped me, and you can take from that whatever's going to help you, because I'm here to offer that help, because it really wasn't easy to get to this point. No, it wasn't. But I'll tell you, it was well worth it. And it was the best thing I could have ever done for not only myself, but for everybody and everything attached to me. Because it's not only about me. I'm a key player in a very big part. Simple. That's attached to many different people. It's not just all about me. No, it's not. If it was about me, hey, it's not. But I am learning to love myself and learning that I will not allow any addiction, no matter what it is, control me. And I think that's what I wanted to stress with you all this morning. You have so many invisible strings pulling at you. And unless you really sit and look at them, they're going to control you. Whether it's your impulses, whether it's your behaviors. You also have to understand that if you're in a state of an inability to stop these things, okay, well, how do they, okay, no matter what it is, you've got to think of physical and psychological harm. Okay? Do you even realize what harm you're doing to yourself? Right, you got to get real with. And you got to get real with the fact that why would you accept that for yourself? Because that's what I did. You think it's easy to look at yourself as a drug addict or an alcoholic? All these labels that people want to put on you? Because not only do you have to look at your denseness of what you're doing to yourself, but you also have the shame and the guilt and denial of everything and everybody around you that is supposed to love you unconditionally. That kicks you on top of it, if you want to talk about substance abuse. And they all judge you and they shame you and they turn their back on you. They don't help you. So I had to get real with it on my own. And I did. So maybe you guys don't have the extreme intensity like I do in my life. So yeah, but I'm not that person. So understand today I come from a place of enlightenment where I can say honestly, that's my false being. That's not who I am. That's who I was programmed to be. But that person, oh, she's a part of me. And you know what? I love her. You know why? Because she helped me get to where I am today. Nobody else did. It's that false being, my construction and my programming of hell, that pushed me to this state of enlightenment. So how could I not love it? That's the state that I'm coming from. I show every addiction that I've had in my life very much love. I show every hardship, behavior, impulse that I've had in my past all the love that it needs. Because I have to understand why I was operating at that and what things drove me in my life. So yeah, I want you guys to all understand, the world gave up on me. But I didn't give up on myself. And I never will. Okay? And that's what you got to get real with in your life. Okay? Get real with your behaviors, your impulses, your whatever substances you choose to numb whatever you're feeling. Okay? Allow yourself to feel. Understand what's driving those thoughts. Understand, you really deconstruct your life and really analyze. Because this is where you're going to see where your addictions are. And if you're feeling down about yourself and you choose to continually every day, I'm going to stress this to you guys again today. Today's a new day. If you couldn't get up this morning and open your eyes and be grateful for your life because truly you were not promised today and you are not owed another day, I want you to understand that you're addicted to that way of being from yesterday. And that's what you're looking for. And I think that's why today's topic was so, you know what, it's crazy because, you know what, I'll show you guys something. I'll show you guys something. I don't know if you can see. Can you see my board there? Yeah, you see my board? All right. I had all kinds of things that I wanted to say this morning, and topics that I wanted to touch, and things that I wanted to, but it didn't happen like that. Because I had to allow my heart to speak. You know, these are all things that were in my head, so I wanted to jot them down because I didn't want to forget. But, no. See? You just gotta sometimes go with the flow. Anyway, this morning, I know it's a little off base for what you guys may have thought it would be this morning, but I want you to understand that you're addicted to certain states of being more than anything. And this is what forces other things in your life. So I really want you to take a look at your impulses. How do you react to things? Or what drives you or motivates you? Or, hey, are you motivated to do anything? Think about what you're addicted to. Because your body is feeding off of these states. And it's creating, you're reproducing this. So if you can't get real with what this stuff is in your life, you can't fix it. So that's, that's basically where I'm coming from this morning. Analyzing's hard. It's hard to take a look at your life and take a look at what you've allowed for your life and what you've allowed for yourself. And it's not easy to accept how you've mistreated yourself. That's what it comes down to. And mismanaged your time on this planet. And mismanaged your gifts. And mismanaged all the opportunities that you could have been a better person. And these are the things that I think about. But while you're operating on systems that are not healthy, well, then what do you expect? But you can't fall victim to that. That's not who you are. If that's really genuinely who I was, I wouldn't be able to sit here today and talk about the things that I do. But I could have easily worn that costume of life also and put masks on for the world and remained doing drugs and drinking every day to numb my pain. Or I could get real with what was making me feel like that and making me feel that it was okay to do these things to myself. And that's what I did. So, these are the things I'd like you guys to get real with in your life. I want you to analyze what it is that's, that's got your energies wrapped up and what it's giving to you. And we all have very destructive bad habits. So I think my point of it all today is this. I want you to go deeper with this stuff. I want you to question yourself, why do you believe that it is okay to do this to yourself? To allow certain states of being for yourself. If you're feeling down and you're not motivated for change, or you're feeling depressed, or you're feeling anxious, why are you allowing that for yourself as a state of being? Is what you got to look at. And you can change it. With the right help, you can change it. Unfortunately, I didn't have that help. I had to figure it out myself. But I have. And I'm okay with that. But that's something that nobody can take from me, ever. And what I gave myself by doing this was freedom. I freed myself from that destructive pattern that I was on. That wasn't my fault. That's how I was created to be. But what would be my fault is if I chose to remain there, knowing better. I was addicted to negativity for so long. And that's why I think I tried to stay positive for so long. I needed something positive in my life. So I figured, since there's nothing positive in my life, I have to be positive. But I'm at this state right now that, you know what, I'm in a neutral state right now, and I'm very expansive and open and receiving of anything the universe brings my way at this point. That masterclass I did really helped me. I come from a place of, I still have impulses, and I still have my body still, like this morning, what happened to me, trying to talk me out of anything good, to protect me. But why would my subconscious be trying to protect me from greatness? Because it's an unknown. And it perceives it as a threat. Now, isn't that messed up? And so there's another thing that I'm grateful for. That, okay, the distraction, please. That's another thing that I'm grateful for. Is the awareness that I can see that, and I can understand that. And I can learn from it. Because instead of getting stuck in that, I had to ask myself, what are you doing? Okay, no. And at the end of that, I had to, okay, what are you trying to show me? Simple questions, you will get your answers. I want you all to understand something. How did I get to this point? Is because I decided, since I didn't have any friends to play with, that the universe was my playground. And that's what I started to do. I started to play with the universe, and it played back. And the more I played with the universe, the more it played back. And the more things I asked, the more it showed me. And the more the connection grew, well, hey. And I was on that kind of journey for 20 years before my alignment to my higher self. Nobody could take that from me. And that's where all these changes coming from. So you guys can all figure it out. That's why I just want you to look at your addictions and what is it that you're accepting in your life for yourself. Okay? But go a little deeper than that. Why do you believe that's okay? For you. And if you think that you're only harming yourself, you're not. And I'm not talking just about substance abuse here. I'm talking about the things that come out of your mouth. I'm talking about the behaviors you engage in. I'm talking about everything like that. Take a look at why you accept that for yourself as your way of being if you're in a constant negativity. What's in your programming that makes you try to, come on. You got to think about these things. So go a little deep. Don't look at the surface of things and accept what your brain is telling you that it has to be. Because if I gave into that, I would not have graduated this morning. Seriously. But I understand in my heart that my head, no, it's not the place where my thinking should come from, because I allow myself to feel. So my thinking kicked in today and tried to override the greatness of what I was feeling, because I accomplished something great for myself today. But my programming didn't want to accept it. It wanted to override that because it was too foreign. I had to get real with that. So my learning experiences, I hope, are helping you guys. I've had a lot of questions come in. I want you all to know that I've put all of my videos together, and I'm going to put them on YouTube. Like, they're on YouTube. So you guys can go, if you guys don't want to find me on Facebook, whatever. You got all my videos, access to all of them in one bank, right there at YouTube. You know what? I really hope this helps, because we need it. And I want you to understand something. I don't want you to depend on doctors to help you get out of depressions. And I don't want you to help, listen, figure it out. You're going to figure it out. If you ask the questions and you silence yourself, you will come with your own answers. You get them because your soul knows. It's tapped into the all-knowing. It's connected to infinite, unconditional love. So you got to learn how to love yourself enough to self-analyze, because you matter. So if you're allowing these states of being for yourself, anxiety, depression, low vibe, low motivation, low inspiration, you're just slugging through life, go a little deeper and ask yourself, why do I allow this for myself? Why do I feel like I am not a worthy person on this planet? It stems down to your belief systems. Go and check what your paradigms are. What do I mean by that? I want you to go back to your earliest memory as a child. And I want you to really, really allow those five senses to kick in as much as possible. So bring yourself to those moments that you can remember. And take a look at what's around you. The people, the environments, the circumstances, the situations. I don't want you to look at your life today to understand your paradigms. What I want you to do is I want you to go way back from who you are today. Okay? Because you're no longer that child living it. You're the adult now from a different perspective looking in. What was your childhood constructed of? Get out of your emotions of it and really look. I want you to see the people that put the programming in your mind. And I want you to see the circumstances they were living when you were too young to have any kind of control over anything. This is what's going to make you analyze why you have these addictions to behaviors and impulses and substances. Because an addiction is something that you can't stop. So unless... Okay. My addiction to my negativity was because of what was programmed in me. Which stemmed to substance abuses, behavioral abuses, let me say addictions. Behavior addictions, substance addictions, and impulse addictions in my life. So, you gotta get real with it. Okay? You matter, guys. I've been on here an hour, and anyway, I hope you took from it what you needed to. Share the videos. You know, and I see all kinds of views. Like, I see hundreds of views, but I don't see any likes or any comments or any feedback. So let me know if this is helping you. I want to know if you guys are getting the gist of it. I want to know if there's anything that I can help you guys with. Because all it takes is awareness. That's all it takes. Make yourself aware of the things that you do want in your life, the things that you have, the things that you like. Come on, but you got to understand who you are to move forward in life. Being in control of who you are. You know, there's certain understandings that you have to level up. But again, I'm going to say it. You're not your diagnoses. You're not your diseases. Those are states. These are things that you've created for yourself. But you can create change too by little small steps. I didn't do this all overnight. But once you tap into this kind of change, things happen. And there's a law of least effort. So, anyway, I love you all. Have a great day. You're awesome. You're amazing. I wish you guys greatness in your day. But really today, take a look at the addictions that you have in your life. All right? And if you want help with them, no matter what they are, there's no judgment over here. I'll help you get through it. All right? Okay. I love you all. Have an amazing day. Peace!